President Trump of the United States of America official statement. Earlier this morning, on my orders, U.S. military forces conducted a kinetic strike against positively identified Tren de Aragua narco-terrorists in the South Cam area of responsibility. Tren de Aragua is a designated foreign terrorist organization operating under the control of Nicolás Maduro, who is the president of Venezuela, the legitimate president of Venezuela, responsible for mass murder, drug trafficking, sex trafficking, and acts of violence and terror across the United States and Western Hemisphere. The strike occurred while the terrorists were at sea in international waters, transporting illegal narcotics heading to the United States. The strike resulted in 11 terrorists killed in action, and no U.S. forces were harmed in the strike. Please let this serve as notice to anybody even thinking about bringing drugs into the United States of America. Beware. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And on the foxnews.com website, video shows U.S. military blasting drug boat killing 11 suspected Venezuelan Tren de Aragua narco-terrorists. And this is a video footage shows bright blast as vessel obliterated by U.S. military. This is the vessel here in the video. And Trump shares footage of military strike against suspected Tren de Aragua drug boat. It says President Donald Trump shared a dramatic video Tuesday of a U.S. military strike that blew apart a Venezuelan drug boat in the southern Caribbean, leaving nearly a dozen suspected Tren de Aragua TDA narco-terrorists dead. Over the last few minutes, we literally shot out a boat, a drug-carrying boat. Trump said during a news conference in the Oval Office, a lot of drugs in that boat, and you'll be seeing that and you'll be reading about that. It just happened moments ago. These are the words of President Donald J. Trump of the USA. The president later shared a video of the strike on Truth Social, confirming the blast occurred in the South Cam area of responsibility while the terrorists were in international waters transporting illegal narcotics to the U.S. The strike resulted in 11 terrorists killed in action. These are words of President Donald J. Trump. No U.S. forces were harmed in the strike. Please let this serve as notice to anybody even thinking about bringing drugs into the United States of America. Beware. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Rep. Carlos Jimenez added the vessel belonged to the Cartel of the Suns. This is going swimmingly, Jimenez wrote in an X post. We continue. Ahead of his departure to Mexico City, Secretary of State Marco Rubio told reporters cocaine and fentanyl shipped from Venezuela often end up in Puerto Rico and then make their way to the U.S. The president has been very clear that he's going to use the full power of America and the full might of the United States to take on and eradicate these drug cartels, no matter where they're operating from, and no matter how long they've been able to act with impunity. Rubio said, "Those days are over," and well done. This is President Donald J. Trump speaks in the Oval Office on Tuesday. As Senator Katie Britt listens, during the news conference, Trump announced that the U.S. military had shot out a drug boat from Venezuela in the southern Caribbean. Trump said many drug boats are coming out of Venezuela, claiming terrorists are acting under the control of Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro. Tren de Aragua is a designated foreign terrorist organization operating under the control of Nicolás Maduro, responsible for mass murder, drug trafficking, sex trafficking, and acts of violence and terror across the United States and Western Hemisphere, he wrote in the X post. And this shocks me a bit as well because it says here, there's a link saying, China condemns U.S. military buildup off Venezuela coast as foreign interference in regional affairs. Like, President Trump is keeping America safe from drugs, from these narco-terrorists. Like Secretary of the State Marco Rubio said, drugs come from Venezuela and other parts of Spanish-speaking America into Puerto Rico, and then from Puerto Rico they go to the United States. It's just amazing. Thank goodness that President Trump and Marco Rubio and the other people in the government, they take action against these illegal entries with drugs from Venezuela. Like Trump stated, Trump said many drug boats are coming out of Venezuela, claiming terrorists are acting under the control of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. So yeah, this is, again, don't forget, it's an official statement by the President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump.